Oh dear. If ever you put a diagnostic computer on and you see these codes, it's not looking good. I've made a bit of a mess with it. I might have to smoke test this, and this is what I found. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby and I'm a mobile mechanic, as you can see here. I'm also a used car dealer and I do dabble in a project or two, and this is the only channel that you'll see that vlogs the whole week. So if this is the sort of content you like, stay tuned, and why not give this video a like and give me a subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. And this is just a channel that vlogs my whole working week from start to finish, the good and the bad, and nothing's made up. It's all as it happens. So you'll often see me... Wow, some biscuits. Nice. And you'll often see me have a rant or two. But we're starting the week with this Honda CR-V. And we've got the DPF light on. And we've got a new camera. And this should hopefully give us a bit more quality, so you can see now that I can actually focus on the screen. So right, so we're going to just data stream this, have a look at the differential pressures. So this is the one we want. We don't want it in PSI. So at idle we've got 24 HPA, so that needs to be under 10. And then if we hold... Look, I've got a zoom option now. Woohoo! Hold that at 3000. That is all the way up there at 184. So, yeah, this is going to need a clean. It only gets very short journeys around town. Sometimes there is things that cause DPFs to block ups, like boost leaks, injector issues, various sensor readings, but everything's okay. I think this is just the fact that it just gets poodled around town, so I'm going to do a little clean on it now. The solution we are using, the ever popular Launch cleaning products, and we've got our gap gun here. So we're just going to put half of this bottle into here and fill the rest up with water. So I'm still getting used to this camera. Yeah, so we'll fill up with water and then we'll get cleaning. Right, so we've got the Milwaukee compressor fired up, got the gun on, and then we've just come round here into this temperature sensor hole. I'm just going to give it a couple of bursts. Right, I just thought I'd put a different end on it actually, because all that foam was coming out. So if I can get that in there just like that, zoom in, enhance. Right, so I've just sprayed a bit in there now. It's still pouring out because the airline's still on, with the engine off, and then I'm just going to let that sit for a minute, let that clean, and then we're going to turn the car on while spraying in 5-second intervals, give or take. And yeah, we'll have a look at the live readings and watch all the pressures come down. If you've seen Jimmy O'Reilly's videos, you know, you'd be well aware of this process by now, but just on the off chance that you haven't, I will show you. There we go. Right, so that's the sensor back in. When you get on the live data again, and this TopDon Phoenix Lite 2 is the weapon of choice. So we've got 16 HPA at idle. Let's bring those revs up. And already we are down at 88 HPAs. We've got the exhaust temperatures on there as well, engine temperature, because your DPF also won't regen if it doesn't get hot enough. Right, we're down at 12 HPAs now. It was bouncing around at about 8, so we're getting there. Right, so figures were coming down, and then it sort of stayed about there, and then it seemed to be going up again. and then I've just come round to have a look. I thought I might have to smoke test this, and this is what I found. So this boot here, intake boot, I don't know if you can see that on there, but yes, that is split, and that is obviously going to be causing an issue. Yeah, you can just see over time that has got really perished. So yeah, that's annoying. I'm gonna have to order one of these up and be back. Right, so I've tried ringing Honda and there's no answer. Shock from a main dealer. They're actually 8-minute drive from here, so I'm gonna go down there, see if on the off chance they've got one of these pipes in stock. If they have, I'll come back and fit it. If not, I'll order one, come back. I should have checked that first of all. I probably should have smoke tested the car, and then I would have seen that split pipe. But I guess I just took the customer's word for it and the fault codes that were in the system. But saying that, the customer did send me a screenshot of the fault codes and some live readings on must be like a little app or something on his, I think he said his dad's phone. So he could have cleared all the other fault codes, which would have then led me to start having to look into it a little bit more. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll go down there now, see what I can get, and if not, I'll be back another day. Happy days. I was just pulling off the customer's drive because I was going to drive down there, but the parts advisor rang me back and he's got one on the shelf. £90 plus the VAT. But it is what it is. Same day repair. The car won't be off the road, so I'm going to go get that. I've put some more cleaning solution just to soak down a bit more because the levels were rising back up again. So yeah, we'll get that finished today. Right, there we go. Genuine part obtained. Let's get that fitted. Right, new air pipe is on. So DPF pressures are down. So we've just got to come and reset everything. Right, so we're at my next job now, which is the sister-in-law's Golf, and the dash is lit up like a Christmas tree. And we've also had warnings of an oil pressure warning coming up. So let's get stuck into that. Right, so the scan is finished and we've got quite a lot of fault codes in here, in a lot of different control units. So engine, we've got data bus error received, camshaft position sensor circuit, that one's worrying, and reduced oil pressure switch malfunction. Transmission, invalid data received from anti-lock braking system, so we'll see what's in the braking system. Left rear wheel ABS sensor. We did have a rear right ABS sensor replaced on this last year, causing very similar issues. We've got the tyre pressure monitoring system malfunction. Electromechanical parking brake control module wheel speed sensor, so that's going to be to do with the wheel speed sensor. Tank lid unlock, remote key, distance regulation, brake temperature, data bus, loads of data bus errors. Again, that can all be caused by the ABS sensor or something to do with that. Let's start with the ABS sensor. Actually, before we start, I'm going to check the oil, which is below minimum. And she said she'd topped up some oil, about 1 litre of it, not long ago. And I also want to check the timing belt condition. So, if I show you down here, it is the original belt and it does look in fairly decent condition. Right, that is a bit of a concern because I've had the inspection camera down underneath, all round the back, and yeah, so it's nice and dry underneath here. So yeah, that is a bit of a worry. I'm going to top it up and yeah, get her to monitor it and see how long this oil lasts. But let's have a look at the ABS system. I mean, we want the rear left. Let's see if it picks up any sort of speed. just on the drive here. Nothing. So for a comparison, we've got the right rear. If I hold that now, you just see up here. Straight away picks up a speed. What I've got to do now, I'll just take it for a spin round the block and get the graph up and see if at any one stage the signal or the speed drops out or drops in, drops out, drops in, comes in. So let me just pack the van away and go for a quick spin round the block. Right, so as a comparison, I've got the right rear sensor up here. I'm just going to clear all the faults, see which ones come back. So after clearing the codes and going for a quick drive, as suspected, the rear left ABS sensor, TPMS light. I'm not sure if this one will go away once this ABS sensor, both these sensors, because I'm assuming the tyre pressure monitoring system won't work if the ABS system is faulty. Right, so I've gone on Haynes Pro. C114602. There is a technical bulletin from VW. There we go. So there is a potential software update for this. So this is going to have to go to someone, a VW specialist or VW themselves for that. Hello everyone, it's Tuesday. We've got myself up the unit, as you can see here, and I've got 2 car sales jobs in, so I'll just flip you around. So I've got this lovely little Fiat 500 in, really clean. We've just had it valeted. The seats were a little bit grubby, but now they've come up a right treat. It did have the stripes along here, which were all tatty, so I'm just in a process of putting these back on. But the main job we're focusing on is this Peugeot 2008 wing mirror cap here. You've got this one is black, and then you've got a few little dings. We're going to try and get the dent man out for that, and then just polish all of this out, because you can't feel any scratches. I think that'll actually polish out quite nice. But on this today, I will be doing the timing belt. Nice little DV6 engine, really super easy to do. And these have a common issue where the teeth on the timing belt break up, and then you need new. Obviously the timing belt goes, it doesn't damage the whole engine, but it does spin the lobes on the camshafts, and you'll need new rockers. So yeah, I've done a few of those before. So we're going to get that timing belt done, and then this one's been serviced already. It's got a bit of an oil leak, or some sort of leak around the back, just down there. And I think that's going to be the injector seals. So yeah, let's get cracking. So first we've just got to take a few of these bits off at the top, get this drive belt off, and then we'll go take the wheel off and get started. Right, with that top cover off, we'll just have a look at the belt. You can see the indentation of all the pulleys, but at the minute it doesn't look too bad. The actual belt itself isn't breaking up, but yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper into it. We're going to get this drive belt off and then go underneath. Right, so with the wheel off, the wheel arch liner off, we can see underneath here, and we have got a bit of an oil leak. It looks like it's coming from here, and it looks like the sump has been resealed at some point, and it doesn't look like it's coming up any further. But if you follow it around here, it has been leaking on this corner, and I don't think it's coming from the oil filter housing. I'm pretty sure of that. But yes, it has been resealed, and quite crudely, if you have a look there. So it could just be that, but we'll sort that afterwards. But for now, I've got to take the crankshaft sensor off, crankshaft pulley, the bottom cover. Yeah, and then I think we should be viewing the belt. Right, that is the crank pulley off, and if you can just see through here, if I can get a good angle for you, just through that hole. There's a hole there. That's the timing marks, and then another one just through there. All lines up. So I'll just get my timing pins in there, and then yeah, that's all timed up, ready to get the belt off once the cover is off. Right, at the stage, this belt can come off now. Tensioner is off. All my pins are in. One at the back. For the fuel pump, just down there. Right, so this guide roller is off, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but bearings in there are getting a little bit worn. We've got the new guide roller. Hang on. That's what it's meant to do. Right, all bar one water pump bolt is out. So I've just left one up here, that one there. Some mess, caught most of it. We'll have a little clean up in a bit. Right, that's the new belt all in. New water pump, new guide pulley, new tensioners. Just got to spin it around a couple of times, make sure all of these holes line back up, and then yeah, put the covers back on, job done. And then it's on to the injector seals. Right, that's the timing belt done. Still got to just put the wheel arch and the wheel in. But I'm going to move on to the injector seals, so you can just see around the back here. Now I've got that air box off, just how bad they are. We've just got new seals for them, so just got to get these unions off. These bolts that hold the clamps in, leak off pipes, and hopefully they should wiggle out with not much issues. Famous last words. Right, I hope you can hear me over the diesel heater. Have a look at the state of these leak-off pipes. I'm pretty sure that's not meant to be there. All of this stuff here. Looks like someone's taken them off before and put some, I don't know, whatever that is, just to keep them on. Let me know. Right, I managed to get the leak-off pipes out, and I broke just one tab. Really, really annoying. But that's out. So here we go. Can get to them all now. So there we are. All four are out. And then, just in case you didn't know, on these engines, cylinder 1 is this side, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the way I've got them lined up over here. So yeah, it's just that one's okay. And then you can just see the amount of oil and fuel that has been getting past there. Same on cylinder 3. And pretty much same on cylinder 4. Right, that's the new seals on. Bit of ceramic paste around each injector, and then we're just going to slot them in, and hopefully those leak-off pipes don't leak. Right, timing belt's all done, injector seals are all done. I haven't started it up yet, so this had quite murky coolant when we picked it up. So ages ago we put an engine flush, coolant flush through it, and yeah, so I just had to drain all of that out and get all of that out of the system. But in the meantime, I've made a bit of a mess with it. I managed to misplace my drainer, and yeah, it went everywhere, so that's annoying. So just going to fill it up with coolant now, yeah, and then run it up and just make sure everything's okay, and that'll be it for the day. In the meantime, in between jobs, which I didn't show you, another customer came up. A lot of you, if you're long-time subscribers, will know the dog van, the Crafter, that we've had loads of work done on. That's running rough, and it came on, and it had fault codes for fuel pressure regulation, I think it was, and I put the fault code into Haynes Pro, and it comes up with a smart case, basically saying replace the sensor. So that needs doing, the radiator needs doing, and the fuel filter we're going to do, and the cam cover gasket and injector seals we're going to do, which he was meant to have done a little while ago because the cover's leaking. So we're just going to do the lot, and that van will be back up and running again without any issues, hopefully, for a change, or for at least a little while. But yeah, going to finish this off, and that'll be it for the day. Right, it's Wednesday and we're on this Honda Civic, and it's needed a bit of a kick up the backside, like all of us on a cold morning. And we've just got, apparently drove to the petrol station fine, filled up, and then it seemed like it had no power, and every time she came to a junction it would just almost cut out. Now she's checked her fuel receipts, she's put the correct fuel in. There's currently no warning lights on the dash, and there's currently no fault codes coming back, so this one might be a little bit tricky. Okay, so problem with the aircon system, which yeah, isn't going to cause the problem, but we've got the I shift, so it's one of these. Clutch friction, straighten up. Clutch friction coefficient learning value out of range, and TCM power source circuit low voltage. Now I'm definitely no expert on these, but that says to me the clutch plate is worn, which when she was explaining it I asked her if it was a manual or an auto, because I thought, oh, maybe the clutch is slipping, thinking it was a manual. So let's have a little look, see at the live data, see what we can see, and go from there. So I've just got some live data up of friction coefficient. Number 1 actual, number 2 actual, number 3 actual. These are fairly all close together, although this number 1 is lower than these two, and this is general, whatever, I don't know. It could be that clutch 1 is slipping. I'm really no expert on these, so I'm just trying to go through all of these and see if there's anything I can find that stands out to me. Right, I'm just going to go for a drive. I've cleared the codes, and just to experience what the car is doing. Yeah, that's in first gear, it's got nothing there. Second gear feels not too bad. Yeah, that's in first gear. It just feels really, really jumpy. It's jumped into second gear, absolutely nothing there. It's jumped out of second there into first. It's in second now, and yeah, I can pull away, no problem, that feels fine. Second, will it go up to third? It's up into third. Change, not a problem, we're back into first. It's slipping. Second gear. Feels good. Right, so test drive. Once you slow down, it's really, really struggling to take off. Just rereading the codes now, nothing. I'm going to see if there's a clutch fluid filling, clutch fluid bleeding, dynamic mode learning, static mode learning, shift motor calibration. To be honest, I don't think any of those will help. I just think if these are anything like the sort of VWs and they've got 2 clutches, one of the clutches is worn, is what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'll have a little dabble with this and see what I can find. So all of these here, it says, you know, if it's replacement or removal of the change actuator, the slave cylinder, blah blah blah, and I've not replaced any of that, so I don't want to go ahead and relearn anything when it's all worn out, or leave the car totally undrivable. Right, so we're actually at my second diagnostic job of the day. We've got a C-Max, I think this is, and at the minute it's not starting. It's just cranking. And apparently it's some sort of filter that is blocked according to the AA, so let's dive in and see. Oh dear. If ever you put a diagnostic computer on and you see these codes, it's not looking good. Let me show you. Right, we've got the wheel speed sensors, that's fine, license plate, puddle lamp, and these are the ones we really don't want to see. Crankshaft to camshaft position correlation. Now you've got that 3 times there. Now, that suggests to me the timing belt has snapped or is at least stretched, or a tensioner is failing and then making the belt longer, if that makes sense. I've had that. So let's take this cover off. It's not looking good. Right, initial inspection. It is a little bit loose. It's not totally gone. So, it's not totally gone, but I have been able to move that belt quite freely, on and off. Well, not on and off, but move it, and then you can see these wear marks. So I'm just going to put a mark on the belt and see if I can turn it over and see if it is all still moving. So that's the mark. Let's try and get on the crank and spin it over. Right, it's very hard to get this on video, but that's the crank turning, and it is turning up here. So I think we might just get lucky. Good news and bad news. Good news is the timing belt hasn't totally gone. Bad news is the AA were not right. The AA said it was a diesel filter, or I'm assuming from what the messages said from my customer originally was the DPF. So I was coming here expecting a DPF clean. So yeah, I mean, I work for the AA. I know how it is. You get very little time to diagnose a job or a fault, and sometimes you just haven't got time. You're in a dangerous location, and yeah, you just want to get the customer home. So I understand it, but it is also frustrating. But this is why I charge a diagnostic fee. So even if somebody else has diagnosed it, I say to the customer, I'm going to need to diagnose it for myself, because if I just went ahead and started sticking some launch cleaner down the DPF, you know, it's not going to solve this issue. Yeah, so if you ever see a camshaft to crankshaft correlation fault, always start with that, no matter what else is in the system. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and help Karl from Karl in a second, because he's got an ongoing troublesome camper. So it's a day full of diagnostics, and then hopefully we get to the bottom of that fairly quick, and I can head up the unit and get on with some bits up there. Right, here we are with Mr. Karl Automotive.
Hi guys.
So we've got this camper, and it's one of those where it just... Too slow, that, isn't it? It just is one of those head scratchers. So Karl's been on it. It cut out whilst it was driving, and yeah, it's not started again. But it's not started since. But sometimes you go down a bit of a rabbit hole and you start looking at things. So he just needs a second pair of eyes on it. And hopefully we can get it going. Right, we are getting somewhere. So it's got no fuel. We've got an inertia switch just up here. If it will focus somewhere there, just there, that's an inertia switch. And then we've got the wiring coming down to it. It looks like a little mousey has been in there, and this wiring is all frayed and looks like it's been heated up. And then that's the top of the inertia switch, the rubber. So yeah, little mousey's been chewing away at that, I think. Right, just have a listen to this switch. Yeah, and if you press the top, it should click, but it's doing nothing.
Got nothing there.
So yeah, we're going to dive a little bit deeper, see if we can get this going. But it'll definitely need a new switch, but we'll see if we can temporarily get it going. Right, so we've actually nicked Karl's inertia switch because he's got the same van. So let's see what happens. Right, no real further with getting this thing started. So yeah, we tried Karl's inertia switch in there. Nothing. We've tried to just strip the wire back further to some clean bit of wire and bridge those. Nothing. We've come round to the fuse box, and this is the fuel pump relay, and then the fuel pump fuse here, both fine. We've tried bridging that, bypassing that, but you still can't hear the fuel pump power up. And also we can't get any diagnostic machines to work. They connect to the car, they recognise they're connected to the car, but it won't read any control units. Whereas last time Karl was up here, it did. So, and we've checked all of the fuses and they're all fine. So it's a bit of a frustrating one. Matey boy with the S-Max this morning, C-Max, whatever you want to call it, he's just rang me up and I've told him, you know, what's needed to try a belt on there, and he's all in a panic and he can't wait till next week, you know, so he's going to call around. So I might not even get that job, annoyingly, because I would quite like it and see it all fixed, because I'm not going to fix anything today by the looks of it. But if anybody's got any ideas with these Fiat Ducatos, why I can't get any reading on the diagnostic, that would be handy. Or if anybody's got any ideas. But I think, you know, bridging that relay should get that pump to at least fire up, but it's not doing that. So it could very well be that the pump is packed up. But it is an in-tank pump, and it's about 3/4 full. 3/4? Yeah, 3/4 full. And we're on grass, so yeah, that's where we are for now. Right, so we're back up the unit. I've run this one up to temperature from yesterday's timing belt. That's all good. The only thing is we have got a bit of an oil leak, and it is coming from this sump. Someone's tried to reseal it before, but obviously done a poor job, so that will be getting done. And then I've just taken off the wing mirrors, or the caps, just to get painted. And this pain in the backside car is still here. Yeah, so we're just checking out a few things. We've got some vacuum lines to check. We got this pressure sensor to check, just to make sure the lines are not blocked. But other than that, the TPI says replace the turbos. Right, so that's it. I'm home. It feels like a bit of an unsuccessful day, but first job, not much I can do about that. I've diagnosed the issue or further things to investigate, but you know, the cost of the repairs compared to the car just don't make any sense. So they're going to look for a new car on the Civic. The second car, he's actually messaged me, the timing belt. He was all in a panic to try and get this done because he's got a hire car at the minute. And obviously he didn't want to pay higher car costs. He needs a car, but I think he's going to go with me. So that's good. Yeah, he's going to wait for me because, yeah, I guess he'll know I'll do the job properly. And yeah, Karl's camper, we done quite a lot of diagnostic work off camera. So yeah, I think he's got a lot of issues there with mice chewing into the wires. And so yeah, I think that one's, yeah, to be honest, again, it's been sat there for a good few months, so not quite sure what Karl's going to do with that. But Karl has got a YouTube channel, so if everyone could just go and give him a subscribe. You've seen him on the channel before. He's a good friend of mine, and I want him to get more videos out there. So, and go and give him some encouragement by subscribing to him. And, you know, if you're enjoying this sort of content of, you know, the weekly life of a mobile mechanic, subscribe to me too if you haven't already. And then I just went up the unit, messed around for a bit, and I guess I'll stop waffling and see you guys tomorrow. Right, here we go. So for those that haven't seen last week's, this is the Jensen, and I was here last week fitting a starter motor. So I'll show you the size of it now, just for comparison. Massive. Now it's a used or refurbished, sorry, one that the customer got, because this is a very, very rare car, and I'm not going to go down to Eurocar Parts and find these. And when I put it on, it started smoking from the power cable, and it just felt like it was locking up. So I'm back here today to take everything apart. So yeah, we've just got to remove this heat shield down here. See that there? Start motor is down there. So let's see what's going on. Right, that is the starter motor out. So we're just going to test this now. But I did not notice this when I put it in. This stud just looks, doesn't look the best. Right, moment of truth. Well, it's doing its job, but is there enough of a connection on that bit of broken stud? Ready for a start? Or at least turn over. Okay. So this will be the first start. Go for it. Right, so yeah, I'm pleased that little Jensen's all up and running now. I'll just explain the issue there because it was very difficult to film in there. There's a nylon washer that sits between the washer on the back of the starter motor and where the cable goes on. There's just a nylon washer that was missing, so the cable was arcing out onto the body of the starter motor basically. So yeah, we done a bit of preventative maintenance and put some sort of nylon, bigger nylon washers around it, so there's absolutely no chance of that positive cable touching the body of the starter motor. And yeah, fires up fine. There was a bit of a leak on the manifold to downpipe, even though there was a new gasket there. I think there was just so much rust that had built up, which I tried to clean up. Yeah, it was just a bit of exhaust gases were escaping, but he hasn't got the the V5 for it yet. The DVLA are being a bit funny about it because he's imported it from Guernsey, I'm gonna say. So it's not on the road yet, and he wouldn't take it out in this miserable weather anyway. So yeah, that's Thursday done. We're nearly there, nearly Friday. Yeah, I'm up the unit tomorrow, so even if it's raining, I'll be dry. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Right, first job of Friday. I did think it was going to be a clutch cable. So this is actually my neighbour's friend's car, and it broke down. It broke down literally round the corner from my house on the way to my neighbour's house, and I got there and it wasn't going into gear, and it's a cable, and when I came round to the clutch pedal, it was just all floppy and loose, and I had a look under there and it seemed like the cable was just either snapped or loose, and all I did was stick it into first, start it up, and then without changing or putting the clutch down, just put it into second and drove it round here. So I've ordered a cable, but I've come here today and I think it is actually the clutch. So let me show you why. So this is your cable here, your clutch cable. It's round there, and then this arm here should be sat over here towards me, and then that cable should be nice and taut. But this arm, you can just pop it anywhere, and then once you pull or press the clutch pedal, that pulls that and it starts grinding. So yeah, I think this is going to need a new clutch, not a cable. Yeah, I did think I'll come out here quickly and do this, but yeah, I'll have to give her the bad news. She's been waiting a couple of days just because I've been so busy. Alright, we've got this Ranger in now, Wild Track, and he just wants his grille lights changed. So we've got these lights in here, and we've also got, so customers supplied these marker lamps, and I think he wants them on the steps somewhere, and they will just come on with the side lights, I believe. And he's got these lights that he's given me for the front, but they're round, and these ones he's got in there now look like they're the proper ones for these Fords. So not quite sure how that's going to work yet. Gonna have to maybe grind away a little bit of this grill to get them to fit in, and then it should slot in between this groove and hopefully hold in place, because I can't see anywhere else that they're going to go. And then we've also got this LED work light bar, which I'm assuming he wants on with the high beams. So I've got all that to figure out today. Right, that's the first one installed. The wiring, it's already been wired up before to this side light, and it did have these plugs on it. I don't know if you can see all the green crusties in there. Where's the other bit? So yeah, I had to cut all of that away, and I've made up new ends just using this little kit. Yeah, it's just an assortment of all these little spade connectors, and then it's got waterproof ends on it, I guess. So yeah, just going to make the rest of them up and move on to the next bit. Right, so all four of them are nearly done. I'm just on this last one, and I just thought I'd show you just in case nobody knows. But these are the pins I'm using, and they sort of just, it's not picking up, but it clamps onto the wire. Yeah, and then just join them together. Got these little plastic covers here, keep the weather out. I'll put a bit of tape around there just to keep a bit more weather out. But yeah, that'll be those front grille lights done. Right, in the meantime, whilst I've started on that, I also had this in for a full service, which I've just got to finish off. Looks like it's been sat around for quite a while. Got all the tree crap on there. And then add this Discovery in, just for all 4 lower arms. You just had the boot split, and also on these ones, all the bushes were cracking. So we've got all new ones on there now, and so that's all just going back together, and that one should be done. And then that'll be it for the day. Got to go drop that Skoda home, and yeah, can't be asked with the rest of the day. That's it. The Skoda is all dropped. The Range Rover is back on the floor and done. I'm done. The Ranger is yeah, I got sidetracked a bit with that with other jobs. He had the light bar across the front, and it had the strobes on the side of the strobe bit, and I thought he wanted that wired in, but he didn't. So I could have probably just wired in the front strobe, but yeah, it's a bit of miscommunication there. And then the side steps, that's going to need a bit more work, trying to get the side markers in there. But yeah, I started a bit late, and yeah, I didn't film too much today because I was just trying to get through the day. Christmas is approaching, and like I said, this might be even out at Christmas. But yeah, Christmas is approaching, and I'm trying to wind down, and mentally, once I'm in that mode of winding down, that's it. But yeah, hope you've all enjoyed this week's episode. If you have, comment, like it, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 20,000 in the next 6 months, so hop along for the journey, and I'll see you on the next one.